Whoosh.
Kaboom. Guess who stepped in the room?
Is the casual fan superhero shit. I don't know if to say podcast, but it's the superhero shit
Yeah.
show. I guess that's SSS.
Superhero shit
S's.
show.
Superhero shit
Shit
show.
show.
Hey, whichever way. But yes, I am Chezza. And always with me is
Call me Shep.
Shep. Call him Shep. Almost like Chep palettes, but Shep. I had what's it called? A teacher,
Yeah.
Mr. Shepherd. We used to call him Shep. Shep dog. He still always call him Shep dog. He didn't care. He was cool as hell. Gym teacher though, so you know how those go.
290721.
Shep. Dog. Not no dog. But I don't know. I don't know if he feels away if you add like a Shep dog to it. He might not feel it, you know. Trace will tell you. But anyways. So we have a lot of shit to actually catch up on because with this happening on Fridays, hard to get it done. So by next week, everything is shifting. But yes. So
everything changes.
We got to talk about Loki. We got to talk about Eternals. We got to talk about MODOK. We got to talk about Thor. We got to talk about Jupiter's Legacy, Rise and Fall.
Black
did
Widow.
Black Widow have another? I didn't watch that one, so
their trailers. Then, just to keep it brief, the trailers for the most part are pretty the same as what we've seen. A couple other images they put in from other scenes, but for the most part, and I feel bad for it. I feel bad for the whole Black Widow movie because it's just been one delay after the next, and it feels like every other project's been lapping it.
Maybe Scarlet is just bad luck. Like,
could be.
It's not her chance. Like, it's not her time. Like, she was in the MCU for how long? And Captain Marvel gets it first. Yeah. But I mean, Captain Marvel got her movie first. So maybe she just wasn't. You know what I mean? I feel like they're like wanting to give her an alley oop. Like, all right, here you go.
At the same time,
fell out in the wrong time.
At the same time, to me, it feels apropos because she was a spy, right? Sure. So it's more discreet shit than it is, you know, right in front of you. You know, everything in the open. It's covert.
Everything around it. Dude, which one? So the story or the everything around it?
No, it's everything.
Because the story is based in? Okay.
It's everything.
I thought you meant like if because the story is pretty much based in like her covert shit, it doesn't really affect the rest outside of it, storyline wise, like MCU wise.
Yeah, and because obviously they're gonna spring, you know, other things are gonna spring from that movie that don't necessarily have to do with, you know, Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah, just like what's it called? Val from Falcon Winter Soldier. They said she was supposed to first appear in that, but it truly doesn't affect her first appearance, really. You know what I mean? Like if she appeared in Black Widow first, or if she appeared here first, I'm not sure it would. Well, maybe Black Widow made it give us more information on her character, and it would have been like, oh shit, she showed up on Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, oh wow, what's she doing here? And then we're gonna get the explanation after. So it's probably just the explanation which way. Yeah. You can tell the story any way. It's like the movies that start like, yeah, you probably wonder how I got here, and then it goes back. You know, it's pretty much that. Like you can tell a story.
Every BET movie ever.
Yeah, pretty much. I just wonder how I got here.
Well, it starts a little back. Let me tell you how it started.
The worst is when that story sucks shit. Like when they got there, it's like, yo, you're just an idiot. You did so many stupid shit just to get where you are. You deserve to be where you are right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what other trailer? We go to Loki first because Loki's coming up next Wednesday.
They are flooding the timeline with Loki right now, and I'm loving
it. Yeah, they're really much like giving us like a lot of those stories, right? A lot of the characters.
Yeah.
Such as, so I was just on the Marvel YouTube, and they have the video for Mobius. like just like that main scene, the elevator scene. They give you that, and just like it's pretty much his going to be his introduction in the show. Then Miss Minutes. They
Yeah.
give you a lot of information on Miss Minutes, which is really weird because it's like, what is Miss Minutes really? Is she only a mascot, or is there more to her? You know what I mean?
I love. You know what? It reminds me of in WandaVision when he got the commercials. It's like
Bring that up.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was supposed to be those commercials, and that was his message. I'm not sure if we brought that up before.
Yeah, it was supposed to be him sending those messages to Wanda. His way of communicating with her.
And trying to warn her about Agatha and what she's doing there. But yeah.
But I like the fact that they use those commercials for something. It's something interesting. It's something that you may not know everything that's going on with it, but you know it's something important. So the same thing with Miss Minutes to me. It's like, is there more? Is there more to it? So
we'll see that. Then also, they didn't really have a video, but what's her name? The black woman, the one who's playing like, she's dope.
Like a judge.
Yeah, she's like killing it. Like, he's like, so do I get a weapon? Yeah, definitely. Gives her a weapon. She takes it. Boom. No, what? She's like, what? No, took it. She's like, what the hell? Yo, her character looks like she should be funny.
She kind of reminds me a little of and I can't even remember what her actual position is in the movie. In Thor Ragnarok, she's like the right-hand man to the Grandmaster.
Oh, I know what you mean because of the storyline.
Her whole thing is just deadpan. You know what I'm saying, though? Her whole thing is like
Valkyrie. Like Valkyrie. Not wasn't Valkyrie playing the side of the guy?
No, her right-hand man. Not Valkyrie was there. She was a hunter. She was there getting money off him. But she was the one. She was leery of Valkyrie. She was like, "Oh, she's a drunkard. I don't like her." She's like one of the guards.
I'm mixing up the comic book with the movie. So I'm sitting there trying to remember. I'm like,
I'll find the picture and I'll send it to you in WhatsApp.
Hold on, let me find this. 4-3, right?
Yeah.
What's the guy's name again?
The Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Maybe it's because it's so close to like the Grand Wizard. I just don't want to remember it.
Every time I think of his name, I want to say the Collector, but the Collector was in Guardians.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be his actual brother. Oh, okay, I know what you mean. She looked yeah. I forget. I don't know her name, but yeah.
She plays like a real serious role.
Yeah. I want to say she's Asian, but yeah, I see her. I see her now. Let's see if I can show the world. Right here, her.
Yes.
Right there.
And she's from New Zealand.
Oh, nice. So she might have some Samoan blood in her.
Taika.
Waititi. Yeah, he's connecting his people. That's pretty dope. But yeah. What else did I see? They're talking about just the chaos that Loki is gonna bring to the freaking TVA.
I can't wait.
Just them trying to put trust in him, and then they haven't told us what his whole point is, but we have the assumption based off of all the videos and all the shit going around on the internet, saying that he's pretty much going after all the other Lokis from different timelines.
Yeah.
Based off of his fuck up of picking up the Tesseract and disappearing.
I hope they got like a little. You know what I'm hoping for with this Loki series? I'm hoping for one of those bullshit Superman in Shazam appearances where it's like you don't see Captain America, but you see Captain America like put the other stones back.
Yeah.
But you don't see him. You just it's almost like
somebody dressed in the suit, but with like the helmet on. So the assumption it's Chris Evans, but know it's not Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I was like, I believe. Well, in that one scene, I'm gonna assume Heimdall's gonna be in this because when he jumps out the plane, he's like Heimdall. It doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like, brother,
too.
yeah, Heimdall brother, I'm coming. Also, maybe Thor shows up in it. Maybe Thor shows up like the last episode where it connects it to Thor 4.
Or maybe there's a closer kinship between Loki and Heimdall that we didn't explore. Maybe he's saying Heimdall brother.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see.
Or maybe just they're close now. They're friends. They're real friendly, but something like that.
Maybe.
Which funny, kind of. It's funny how they brought back Gamora and Loki through the multiverse already. Remember, and they're both actually tied to Asgard, Thor. You know what I mean? Guardians of the Galaxy and all that shit. So I wonder if they're gonna really like even play off of that, because Guardians are supposed to be in Thor 4. So will they have anything to do with Loki at all?
We'll see. We'll see. The great thing about this new, and we're gonna get into MODOK too, because they get into time travel.
Yeah.
But the great thing about Phase 4 is you end Phase 3 with the quantum realm and time travel, and you basically start it. Well, not start it, but you have at the beginning the basis of the multiverse and time travel, and you're gonna have to use the quantum realm because we're gonna get into Quantum Mania in like 2 years, a year, 2 years. So yeah, but that just opens up so much possibilities, and with the new Sony Marvel connection, and what they're about to do, the way they talked about how they're going to merge everything,
Spiderman into their
It's just there's a world of possibilities in the next 4 years.
I have a big theory, but I've heard it around, but
what is
I might believe this.
What's
They're
that?
building up the multiverse just to crash it all into one again.
Yeah.
But that's going to be their explanation of X-Men, Fantastic Four. So this is going to be their way to cherry pick all the people that they wanted in the MCU. You know what I mean? So they're going to cherry pick whoever they're going to want. So even what's his name might even show up. Miles Morales through the Spider-Man Get Home.
Yeah.
Show Miles Morales and then No Way Home. And then what's it called? Get him to like the way that they merges, because in the comic book they actually did that. So what happened was planets, like they could actually see the other Earth from a multiverse come into their solar system type thing, like their multiverse. And they pretty much had like a 24 hours to either destroy that planet or be destroyed. You know what I mean? So they were pretty much every time one of them would come, they'd have to try to destroy another planet and destroy another planet. But in that whole thing, it all it goes into Doom War, when Doom becomes God King Doom. And he starts controlling, like, have you ever seen that? Oh, I can't remember the name of the show, but it's like based off like Kung Fu and shit. It was on AMC, and pretty much like the end of the world. And there's like 5 different territories. Each territory has a baron, but there's one person who rules it all. It's pretty much set up like that, but Doom is the guy who rules it all. So there's an Asgard where it's only Asgardians there. And then there's like a mutant place where it's only the mutants. Then there's like, you know what I mean? And everyone has their own baron, but they all answer to Doom. And through that, once they defeat Doom, every reality goes back to normal. And once it goes back to normal, it actually merges all the different multiverses. So that's why a lot of the people from the Ultimate Multiverse ended up in the regular multiverse. That's why Old Man Logan ended up in the regular multiverse. Miles Morales and shit like that.
Okay.
I believe like they're gonna end up just that way, to bring in the X-Men, bring in the Fantastic Four without having to tell like their freaking origin story again, and make it seem like they just started now after Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you watched The Flash and all that shit, because they just kind of did that as well.
I didn't watch Flash, but I watched when I was watching Black Lightning.
They did it, and they crossed over with that too.
Yeah, there was a point where, and we were playing catch up, so we're like, wait a second, we're watching it and we're like, hey, what do you mean? What just happened? And it was like, oh, we just did a little Google search and then we're like, oh, they did a whole merger with the Flash and all the other shows. So we went back and we watched I think it was one of the episodes. I think there was a couple episodes where they did it like almost like a mini series.
Yeah, they crossed over. They did a crossover.
Then they split back into their own
individual
ones. Yeah.
But then once they split back, they all came back into one world now. They all live in the same world. So it's not like, so the way it was set up was there was like the Arrowverse where Arrow and the Flash were in one universe. Then Supergirl was in a different universe. And then they brought in Batgirl later on and somebody else, but they were in a different universe. You know what I mean? So that whole crisis thing collapsed it all into one universe. So they can bump into each other now.
Yeah.
And it's easier to do crossover episodes. Like if DC followed the way they did crossovers on their TVs, like for their movies, they'd be on a whole different level. Whole different, because they already touched on time travel and all that shit.
I was trying to find a meme I saw today. Trying to find this meme where they're making fun of DC. I'll send it later.
Slipping. They don't know what they have. They don't know what they like. DC does make sense. How do you have Superman and Batman and not be able to? Well, how do you have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Green Lantern and not be able to make a movie? Like a movie, like that should just be their focus. Like Aquaman. Aquaman is kind of like their Ant-Man. Like it shouldn't have worked. Like Aquaman as a character shouldn't have worked. That's why they had to make him look the way he looked. Like it was the only way to make it work.
I hope they do better with their next round, because when they start crossing over with Shazam heavy, and you're gonna have Black Adam and all that stuff, that's gonna be real. Plus the new like Suicide Squad lineup and stuff. So DC's got more than enough ammo. Like with all the stuff they're doing with HBO, they have more than enough time and resources to make it work.
Definitely.
It's just that like Marvel is like 10.
And to tell you the truth, even with Marvel doing everything they're doing, there's still no superhero more popular than Superman and Batman. Like MCU right now, billions, like Marvel billions, but nothing bigger than Superman and Batman.
Let me ask that. In 2021, do you still think Batman is more popular than Spiderman?
Yeah, definitely. It's Batman. Like the character doesn't go, and that logo itself is classic. Like so that's the thing with Spider-Man. His logo is not actually like a classic logo. It's a spider, but it's not a classic logo. But the character is a classic character.
He has a more classic theme song.
Well,
yeah, I think it's bigger than Batman. Batman, yeah, everybody knows that. But that's not Spider-Man. That's not Spider-Man though. There's levels to this shit. Spider-Man.
Hold on. That's a real question.
Okay, we'll put the real question right there. We'll put the. That's what we should start doing. We should start doing verses on Casual Fan. Like our lives specifically, our lives should be verses of like superhero characters, movies, and just do verses. All that shit.
Let's drop a quick promo. We'll just do a promo right now. Like, all right. Biggest question right now. Not the biggest question right now, but biggest question for us right now is, what is bigger? The Batman theme? Please give us the Batman theme real quick.
Why I gotta do? You're doing Batman. I got Spider-Man.
But you know both of them. I actually was off when I was thinking it, and then you didn't. I was like, oh yeah. But you're gonna do both. So anyway, Batman. You can already tell his choice. And then the second one, So the Batman theme or the Spider-Man theme?
Yo, new Marvel.
It was that Spider-Man theme.
Shout out to Kevin Feige, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. Exclusive. Spider-Man. Yo, settle down. People in the background.
Let's hear it again. Is it Mr. Timberland? Mr. Megan and Timberland.
Oh man, I hated when they did that shit.
That's when you knew
I hated
they were just really feeling themselves. They were such on a high that they're just like, fuck it, we'll do the Spider-Man theme. Like, who cares? Like, we do whatever. But okay, yes. So
more
let us
iconic
know.
Theme.
So please let us know what you think is better: the Batman theme, Adam West Batman theme, or the Spider-Man theme, old school first Spider-Man theme. Let us know. But back to the shit. We know what Trace's pick is.
Yo, I used to watch Spider-Man at lunchtime. It was one of the few cartoons I remember coming home and watching, other than Flintstones, because I used to come home for lunch. If I wasn't watching Flintstones, I was watching Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
The old one,
Spider-Man a bit. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think. Did I really watch it? Not really. Like when it was on, I did because it's Spider-Man, and you didn't get much Spider-Man anywhere other than in the comic book.
And he's shooting webs to buildings that aren't there. I loved it.
It was just swinging across the sky. Like it was just across the sky. He was hitting clouds that we didn't even know were there. Like
but he was moving.
He made us believe that Care Bears could walk on clouds. Because how couldn't they walk on it if Spider-Man could swing on them?
I ain't going front. When it comes to theme songs, even though I think Spider-Man is the more iconic, yo, Care Bears had enough.
No, we're not even getting that conversation yet. We'll bring Care Bears up later on. We'll bring Care Bears on down the line. Right now, Spider-Man and Batman, because those are very, very iconic theme songs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll get the people. We'll cut this up. Get the people to see it. But yeah. So yeah, we just went through the Loki trailer pretty much. Can't wait till it actually drops on Wednesday. So next episode of this, do expect us to talk about that first episode of Loki, because
for sure.
So I ain't even put no spoiler alert there in this shit. If you didn't watch it, it's your own business. Just so you know. And we're not wasting time. It might be Wednesday, it might be Thursday. We'll figure that out, whichever comes first. Depends if we actually watch it on Wednesday on time or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because we are getting kind of frustrated with wrestling. So
yeah, wrestling is kind of
there's going to be less to talk about. If Vince sells the things, there's going to be a lot less to talk about. But anyways.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah. So the next thing, did we talk about Thor? No, but Thor Set Photos.
Thor 4 Set Photos.
Thor 4 Set Photos have been released.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a few of them here. Let me just do it up. So here's this one. It's very random. Oops. Wrong screen. I'll go over here. I have a bigger picture of that one. This one, it shows Nebula's going to be there. Mm-hmm. Star-Lord's going to be there. So
Chris Pratt looks like he's a part of Jethro Tull.
What? Jeez. All right. Another one with them. You can see Hemsworth. Man's getting D's. He's like, I'm here to play Thor. This ain't no fat Thor.
Nah. It's gonna be interesting to show when they show the transition between Fat Thor, Mr. Melted Ice Cream, and the new jacked out of his fucking mind Thor.
Yeah. And they said there's the other reason why he's getting so big is because he's going to be playing Hulk Hogan in a Hulk Hogan movie. So that's the second reason why he's getting so bulked up, is because he's going to be playing Hulk. So I wonder if he's going to do the racist rant.
Yo.
As I say that, he looks back at me like, calm down, Chez. Calm down.
He's gonna don a Floridian accent.
Brother, you gotta listen. Drinking game. Every time he says brother, you
You're
take
dead.
a shot.
You're dead. And this is a
Okay,
shot
you
club.
take a Chezza shot. You take a
You're
Chezza shot.
dead.
You take a Chezza shot then. This one is him and Watiti. As you can see, Wakiki. You can see the dots on Watiti's face. So he's playing Korg, right? Wagwan Wakiki. But
He's
yeah,
playing Korg, yeah.
he's playing Korg, so he has the dots on his face to change up later. So yeah, seeing all these pictures, how is your anticipation for Thor 4?
Oh man, it's gonna be 80s themed, kind of like in the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Tone as Ragnarok. They're just gonna like double down on it. So
remember Wonder Woman 1984 was basically a lot of those 80s themes.
yeah, but again, that was DC.
Oh, the disrespect.
That was
so
DC.
Easy. But yeah,
like you got to remember, for those that don't remember, Thor was looked at as the boring franchise.
He was.
And Taika just like did a whole 180 on him.
Dark World. Everybody was just like, okay, what is this?
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't. It wasn't the interesting movie we should have, we were expecting.
Yeah. But he turned it around, Ragnarok. He very much did.
And that's the great thing about Marvel. It's like if something's not working, it's like, all right, you got an idea, go crazy with it.
And it helped re-energize his character for the Avengers movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What was Ragnarok was after the first Avengers, right?
Yeah, Ragnarok was like,
holy shit.
Ragnarok was closer to Infinity War.
Yeah. Closer to Infinity War. I'm like, holy shit, there was 4 of them. There were 4 Avengers movies. So that first one, you saw some comedic elements in Thor, but they didn't really play on that. It wasn't really like the way they play on it now. They played on it more like the dumb blonde. They played him like that.
He had some funny ass moments in the first Avengers movie. Like it's one of those things where they probably watched it and was like, that's probably why Taika was like, we could turn this up because he was so deadpan. He was like, you humans are so petty.
Yeah.
And tiny.
And then when he's throwing his stuff,
he's just looking at him. He's like, no, when they were in the
I was jumping to another scene, but then
they were in the base and they were all fighting.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you humans are so petty and tiny.
But yeah. He didn't work though. So I don't know. Thor 4. I'm not sure what to expect from it. Thor 4 is gonna tie in with all the other ones too, right? Like
it's gonna tie in with
Multiverse,
Guardians.
Quantum Mania, all that shit. Like
it's gonna Guardians, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was tied into I don't know.
Obviously, not obviously, but I feel like Loki will be tied with it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Well, it depends. Like, who's the bad guy in Doctor Strange? Like,
they said it was Shuma Gorath.
Yeah, it's either Shuma Gorath or Chthon, but more likely they're gonna go with Shuma Gorath because it's easier to say. Shuma Gorath is easier to say than Chthon, especially the way they spell it. Kthunn.
I think they may stay away from Chthon, the name, because it's a little close to Thanos. A lot of Americans pronounce it Thanos, which is weird when you hear it, but I would have thought Chthon would be easier because Chthon, chaos magic, Scarlet Witch, chaos magic.
Yeah.
I thought it sounds closer to chaos that they would do it that way, but
Marvel likes to like sometimes they like to wrap up a few characters in one, much easier, instead of saying, okay, there's going to be this, this, and this. There's going to be Chthon, Shuma, Gorath, and another one. Instead of doing all that, they're like, you know what? Just throw them all in one. Like how like the whole argument was, or the whole theory that everybody's like, Nightmare is going to be pretty much Mephisto. Mephisto and Nightmare are going to be one. It's going to be one character controlling both instead of having to do this character and this character, trying to explain it later.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have elements of Chthon, elements of Shuma Gorath, and maybe even Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
Do we still think Mephisto's going to have something to do with Loki?
Yeah.
Because it was the only true property that actually showed a devil in it.
Yeah.
And it was in a church.
In a stained glass.
So, yeah. So it was the only time we've seen it. So if he brings that out, if Mephisto.
And still, I'm still kind of holding out a little bit of hope from all them Agatha maybe Easter eggs, you know, devils in the detail, all them little things. So I still think there's something to that.
You remember? Did you hear about the deleted scene about that? So Monica and Ralph Boner and the kids were gonna go into the basement to get the book. And that's technically how they got the book on the outside. But they were gonna go in the basement to get the book. But when they go to get it, they're gonna see the rabbit and be like, "Oh shit, it's just the rabbit!" Like, "Hey, Mr. What was his name? Mr. I want to say Scrappy, but it wasn't
Scratchy. Senior
Scratchy. Yeah, Senior Scratchy. And then then all of a sudden he's gonna jump down and turn into a demon and then chase them out of the basement. So that's a deleted scene that they were gonna add, but then they took out later.
Okay.
So that could be. But it was only supposed to be a demon. It wasn't supposed to be Mephisto. It was just supposed to be that she had like it's her familiar, like her demon. Like every like witch is supposed to have a familiar. So that was supposed to be her one that she controlled.
Okay. And
pretty much it was like the guardian of that book, so nobody can come through and fuck with the book if she's not around. But yeah, but they scrapped that whole thing. So
okay.
We did not get to see that. But yeah. To move on, the Eternals trailer.
I like it. And there was something said in there that I think we should do as a prediction. At the end of one of the trailers, one of the characters, I can't remember his name, says, you know, now that, you know, Captain Rogers, as he called him, and Iron Man are gone, who's going to lead the new Avengers team? And was it Icarus?
Yeah, Icarus.
Icarus says, maybe I could do it. I think we should do a 8 Avenger lineup prediction that we can come back to.
Yeah, and because see who actually makes the Avengers.
We're at the point where we don't really know what the team could be.
Yeah,
but
it feel like it'd be a cop out if they like every character that they've shown, they put everyone in a Avengers movie. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of like a little.
It's too on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little too much. But if they take certain people, like they keep Spiderman off the team. I'm not saying that's going to do, but they keep Spiderman off the team because he's an individual. Like in the comic books, he's truly an individual. He'll work with the Avengers, but most of the time he's on his own. You know what I mean? So then they can do a lot of that. Like Captain Marvel doesn't have to be there all the time because, as she said, there's other planets that don't have the Avengers.
Oh, she's not the only Marvel now.
That too. But then that's the other question. How many different Avengers teams is happening? Like, what if we find out Captain America is on the moon? Or look, even say he is on the moon and they have a base on the moon. Sword.
Mm-hmm.
So he's up there doing secret tactics, running his own secret Avengers. And maybe that's where Black Widow comes back.
Maybe she's up there.
They just take a whole bunch of them. Secret Avengers, a bunch of spies. Because in the comic books, that's what happened. Old Man Cap was the leader of the Secret Avengers. And they were just on tactical missions type shit.
Now, does that tie into Secret Invasion? The Secret Invasion story that they're going to... series that
the whole Secret Invasion shit?
Or is that two different...
Oh, yeah, they did call it Secret Invasion. It could
Secret
be...
Invasion is going to be the Nick Fury.
It's two different events, actually. It's two different events.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to think if that happened before or after when he got shot. But, yeah, so anyways, Old Man was Secret Avengers. Then they could also play in the Dark Avengers or call them the Thunderbolts. They could call them either name. Like how I talk about how they merge different characters together. More likely they'll merge the two teams together because do they really have time to introduce Norman Osborn and then use... So for his Dark Avengers, he used Wolverine's son, Dakin, to be Wolverine. He used Bullseye to be Hawkeye. If you remember Bullseye, he was from the Daredevil movie. And like the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. In the comic books, Bullseye is freaking crazy. But as his name says, he does not miss. But he's insane. Like he's like Joker insane. Like he loves to just like murder. And his main villain or his main nemesis is Daredevil. So if you can look up any of their battles, bruh, nuts. Bullseye's nuts. So he played Hawkeye. Scorpion from Spiderman. He played Venom because they put the Venom suit on him. So no, actually, he has played Venom or he played as the Black Spider-Man, but he was Venom. But anyways, they broke it down where they used villains to be the superheroes. Gotcha. So they can either play either way, do the Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts, call them either way. So that could be another Avengers team. And then you have the Young Avengers, which is Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, any kid that they're going to introduce.
Wiccan and Speed.
All of them.
Cassie Lang,
the one in Hawkeye, the female Hawkeye. I forget her name.
Kate Bishop.
Yeah, Kate Bishop. So like
Wiccan and Speed.
Yeah. We're gonna start repeating names like Miss Marvel. If they ever bring in Nova, if they ever they have a shitload of names they could bring in as well. Patriot. Remember Patriot? He could be one of them. Patriot is the son of I already forget his name. The Black Captain America.
Oh, right.
So he's another, you know what I mean? There's a lot
Ironheart?
And the other guy,
Ironheart?
The one who was
Ironheart.
No, they didn't introduce her, but she does have her TV show coming. So yes, that's another one. And then also the Joaquin guy who was fixing Falcon's wings, and he's like, just keep them.
Yeah.
There's another one. So there's so many. They can create a whole new Young Avengers. So yeah.
Okay.
We might have a few lists to create. But yeah, bro, what did you do to her? Why is she singing so? She sounded heartbroken, man. Just apologize. Just forgive her, man. Forgive her. Forgive her, man. But yeah. So, what else in the Eternals? Like, the shit looks pretty crazy. Especially the cast that they have.
And they're dealing with different moments in time.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna be going all the way through time to break it down. Because what I'm seeing all online is that whole theory of why didn't they do something when Thanos came?
Yeah.
Why didn't they do something? So if you can drop the theory, what do you think? What do you think it will be though?
Well, from my understanding, because I'm just a casual fan, I don't know much about it. So isn't there a point where they lose their memories?
Yeah,
They
there
don't
should be.
remember. Yeah. So that's what I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be one of those things where they don't know at the time that they don't remember that they are Eternals.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought too. I'm like, the reason why is because they didn't remember the Eternals, but the way that theory is going around, I was like, maybe something shows that they got their memories before it happened, or just the fact that they know about Captain America and Iron Man. They know about that. It seems that they knew about them beforehand. You know what I mean? Because
Well,
even if it depends, if they woke up at the initial snap, how do they find out everything they missed?
yeah. Oh, well, I know one of the characters, and I don't know all the characters. I'm still learning about the Eternals myself. But there's one character in the trailer that's like in like a library or something, and they're just running through books. They're just speeding through. So I'm thinking maybe they might learn about that through a bunch of stuff
True.
through the books. And
That makes sense. Because there is the few rooms that is like full of like I want to say antiques or just like common things. Not common, but it's like they have like scrolls from like back in the day. They might have like helmets from um the wars in Asia. You know what I mean? Like the Mongolians. You know what I mean? Like they have
yeah,
stuff that transcended time that they're just holding on to. I think they had the whole Holy Grail actually in one of their rooms type thing.
I hope they have a brief crossover with Loki some way.
That would be interesting.
How,
Just
I don't know.
randomly he
And you know
sees
what?
them. Maybe they don't know they're Eternals, but I don't know.
They when I was watching Emergency Awesome, he was explaining like, just like certain connections, and he was saying that Odin would have known about them and whatnot. So there's little connections that they can make, I think.
They said also the Ancient One should have knew about them.
Yeah.
No, I mean like a lot of people should have already knew about them. I wonder even with
The
the
Watcher?
Kree, well, Watcher doesn't. So the Watcher's job, right? It's technically the name. He watches.
Yeah.
He just watches everything. But his whole thing is he's not supposed to interrupt. So he's not supposed to do anything to change time or save people or anything. He's just supposed to watch and take notes.
I just wonder if they're gonna tie that in somehow with the what if too, because he's gonna be narrating it.
Yeah,
Watcher's gonna be narrating it. So like, I think it would be weird for them to not give some sort of at least backstory or something.
but
In
remember,
some capacity. It's gonna
Watcher
be animated.
the Watcher is on the moon.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be. So they are mentioning the moon a lot as well with Captain America. So there could be ties in there. Like this, man. This shit has me like that meme, like where everything's a string, like a pin over here and a string over here, and it's like conspiracy theory, like everything is connected in this shit, and it's nuts. Pretty dope. But actually, to go to the next shit, MODOK. So have you? Well, obviously, 3 episodes have dropped by now. I've watched the first 2. You've watched the first 2.
Yeah.
I've watched some of the third, but we're pretty much getting the basics of it, of what the show's about. What do you think of the show?
I like it. I thought the first episode, I thought a lot of it was a little too on the nose. But then, it just second episode, and I like the first episode, but the second one to me picked up a lot better, and it was just funnier. I thought they were a bit better on their timing. They hit certain jokes and stuff right when they're supposed to. So, and I didn't know at first that it was Seth Green. Sorry, I always mess their names up. Seth Green's company, same ones that do
Robot Chicken, all that shit. He's been living off that. Like after Robot Chicken, anytime you see something like that, more times it's him who has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's dope. Like to watch it, it's dope. But MODOK is a good character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it almost feels like that WWE syndrome. Like, can I take him serious anymore?
Well, I mean, I like the fact that they're doing it like this because it's like I don't think you could do it live action, and even if you wanted to go darker, I don't think we would take it seriously. So I like the fact that
Come
they
on,
did it this way.
hold on. Did they do Krang? Did they do Krang in Ninja Turtles movie?
If they did, it wasn't good.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like they did. In like the second one, they did Krang. I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna find this picture because so I feel like it is a possibility. Like if they did Krang, they can
If they
do.
did Krang, it wasn't good.
Oh wow. Hold on. Am I fucking losing my mind? Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, he was like a beast. Holy. Bro, I don't know how this didn't scare me as a kid. What the hell?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to see because I'm like, maybe it's concept art. Because they're like 2016. Did the second Ninja Turtles movie have one?
I didn't watch the newer ones.
Okay. I think it's the newer ones that have them.
I thought you were talking about the older ones.
Me too. I thought too they had them in the older one, but it doesn't look like it. But okay. But even regardless. Yeah, there's a fighting scene with him. So yeah, he's in that. But I still feel like they could make a MODOK. You know what I mean?
Live
like
action, and you take it seriously? I think it's perfect. I think the medium's perfect for it because he's a floating head.
Yeah, I get it.
And you and in the MC,
but then AIM is taken over by Grumble. Like, I don't know.
Not into it.
It's there. Like it's there. It's like I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it. You know what I mean? It's funny, but it's just like a lot of stuff. Like the third episode, I'm gonna spoil this for you. It starts off like a dream sequence. And fucking MODOK is riding Fing Fang Foom.
Well, he was in the first episode.
Fing Fang Foom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go back then. But yeah,
remember
he's
when
riding Fing Fang Foom.
They went to the restaurant or something, and Fing Fang Foom's like the it's the name that it's like his namesake restaurant, and he's there like serving.
Yes.
There was a couple of cameos I didn't expect. The Iron Man one in the first one.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. He got Iron Man's boot. But the second episode, when he's going through the CDs, his family's going through the CD collection, and the son says, "Who's Hoobastank?" And he goes, "The Beatles of the late '90s." He goes, "Who's the Beatles?" The Hoobastank of the early '60s.
Hey, man.
Yo, I was like, from there, I was like, okay, cool. Y'all hitting harder on this episode. Cool. But yeah, I liked it. I like the second episode better than the first. I think it's picking up for me. Yeah. I'll probably enjoy the third one, but yeah.
It was funny.
It's a nice
I'm just like, man, how like
for a Marvel show that's not like tied to anything Phase 4 related. It's a nice little diversion. It's a nice little pivot.
Just a little extra thing that they have.
Yeah.
Almost like that other thing that they're working on. What's it called again? The Wastelanders. To bring that up. The freaking old man Star-Lord. What is it again? Let me bring that shit up.
Yeah.
The Wastelanders.
But it just shows what you could do in Marvel. Like you could do a whole bunch of different shit because you have all these different properties.
Oh shit! It looks like it already started.
What's it on?
So it's a podcast.
Oh, that okay.
So it's a podcast. So episode 1 review, Old Man Star-Lord. So not a big review, nothing crazy, but like from a narrative standpoint, the first episode of Marvel's Wastelanders, Old Man Star-Lord, achieved something many radio dramas fail to do. the first episode sets up a lot of information. So it's a listening thing. It's not one that you're going to see on TV. It's nothing you're going to see with your eyes. The podcast that you're listening to, it almost brings back like the olden days where everybody used to sit around the radio and listen to the stories.
Sounds like
pretty much that.
Yeah, sounds like a cross between old school radio storytelling and fan fiction.
Yeah. They're using future Star-Lord, future. Who else? There's promises of Ghost Riders, a Kraven the Hunter appearance, and more cameos from other characters in the Marvel Universe. And in the first episode, we even hear Star-Lord question whether or not Nick Fury is alive. So you're going to get a whole lot of different characters within this podcast. It's pretty nuts. Like Samuel Jackson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It changes the whole thing.
That's another thing we didn't get into, the Kraven.
Oh, even that.
Kraven spinoff is official.
It's a spinoff or it's part of...
No, it's part of Sony. Sony's...
Oh, so they're making a full movie just for Kraven. It's not part of like... Okay. That's crazy.
And it's supposed to be based off Kraven's Last Hunt. So there's going to be Spiderman.
Oh, nice. That's... It's funny. It was funny just to see they announced it, that they replaced Quicksilver with Quicksilver just to make Quicksilver into Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
I said, man, it's
Multiverse
almost like...
of madness.
They're like, listen, we don't like to hire outside of our group. So even though you're not doing this, we're going to find you something over here to continue to do. You're not leaving the MCU at all. Because in the end, Sony will fall into the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't see them having a problem. As long as they figure out their deal, let's just make money. Like, we're making billions off this. Like, how much more billions do I need?
Now imagine if Tom Holland didn't call up the head of Sony drunk and crying.
Drunk and crying, bro. He's one of those guys. Like, man, I love you, man. You don't even know, man. I love you so much. Oh, remember when you did this for me? Oh, I don't want us to break up.
That's like what's his name from Bonanza? Hold on. Michael make sure I get this right. But back in those days when they were working with kids, when they wanted to get them to cry, they were just mean to them. Michael Landon. Michael Landon, which show was it? Highway to Heaven? Highway to Heaven is a Little House on the Prairie. But like when directors would just want kids to cry, they'd just make them cry, they'd be mean to them. Michael Landon pulled one of his co-workers aside. The little girl, she had to cry in the next scene, but he didn't want to be mean to her. So he just pulls her aside right before they start filming, and he's like, you know, such and such, I'm so proud of you. You just been working so great on the show. And he starts tearing up. Yeah. She starts crying. All right, we gotta go.
He did it the correct way.
It's like, all right, let's go shoot this. Let's go shoot the scene. Let's go.
When you say like, that, remind me a story of Alfred Hitchcock, because he used to do that shit to people too. People say like working with him was nuts, because to get you like, I forget who the actress was, but he needed her to be in like a state of like frantic like depression and shit like that. So he pretty much told everybody like not to talk to her, and he was like always like curtain short with her and all shit, where she was just getting frustrated like crazy. And then he was like, boom, go. And then when she did it, all that shit just poured out on screen. And at the end, they're like, yeah, he only did that to get that out of you.
Bruh, if you really want to see like some psychotic shit, some shit that's like probably the reason for why you have a lot of these unions and stuff, go watch the making of like what's it, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
the original one.
Charlie and Chocolate Factory. I think it was Charlie and Chocolate Factory and oh man, I'm really getting old. I can't remember shit. What's the one with Dorothy and Toto?
Oh, Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Like the things that they had to do on set to get certain results, like people were like hospitalized just to get certain shots done. Like people were ingesting things and yes, like
Just to get the wow.
if you go back to a lot of those old movies and you see how they were made, go look up like some of them compilations on YouTube. Just like horror stories from just everyday working on movie sets. And it's like and some people got fired and stuff for like
for not doing the shit that would have killed them.
Yeah, like
you don't want to die? Get out of here.
You have to put like they would use certain paints, like face paints and stuff, that the chemicals were, the chemical makeup of a shit was like eating at people's face and stuff. And it's like, no, let's get through the scene. Like, stop being a little bitch. like stuff like that. And then like when I can't remember which movie it was, one actor had to go to the hospital because of like being treated for set props that were like costume design, stuff like that, face painting and stuff like that. They had to go to the hospital because of ingesting stuff. And they were like fired, like, oh, you don't want to show up? It's like, no, I'm in the hospital. Oh, you're in the hospital. Oh, you're calling in sick. Okay, don't come back.
That Vince McMahon shit.
It's like I'm literally in the hospital.
That's Vince McMahon
sick because
right
of the
there,
shit. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's gonna be interesting too. That's another thing we didn't touch on either. Because the whole and this is a Thursday, not a Friday wrestling podcast today, but we were talking about it yesterday. We were talking about Vince McMahon and them possibly selling WWE. But yeah, the whole independent contractor stuff. If you're signed with like NBC and stuff, and then you get like, I guess, unions involved and stuff like that, does the business does the business completely change? Because you're selling a company that operates this way, but then you're moving them into this industry, which is kind of a whole different industry that has different rules. Can you get away with it? Can you get away with the stuff Vince was doing?
Tune in on Thursdays to find out the answer.
Oh, we gotta talk about this Thursday.
We're gonna talk about that next. But yeah, so before we go, the last thing that was really out there. So there was a new show on Netflix called Jupiter's Legacy. Heavy. It was it's a comic book by Mark Miller. I watched everything. You watched one episode.
Yeah.
But now this same show has been canceled.
Yeah.
So basically, well, let us know after the one episode. What did you think of it?
You know what it was when I'm watching it. I had just finished watching Invincible, and I was like, this feels like a live action version of Invincible. Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was like,
yeah. I can see.
Oh, he's got to impress his father. Gotcha. Father is angry because he's not, he's not doing as he's supposed.
He wasn't. He's actually not the main character. The son. He's not even the main focus of it.
Yeah.
Truthfully, like them as a family, but yeah.
It was just the way they presented it at first. It was like, I feel like I just watched this.
Yeah. So. No, it's like,
and it wasn't bad. It was just,
I don't know.
I just felt like after watching The Boys and then watching Invincible, it was kind of like,
even watching Umbrella Academy.
I haven't watched it in a while. That was interesting.
Yeah,
that was interesting. I got to go back and watch all of that. But yeah, I just felt like Jupiter's Legacy just didn't hold my attention. It just felt like I was like, all right, I already got the best of this from.
Yeah. No, myself in watching that Legacy show, Jupiter's Legacy, it just felt like, I don't know. a lot of story parts weren't there. Like a lot of stuff was missing. Um, they jumped a lot into like their whole backstory, and their whole backstory felt like I was watching the TV show Lost, as in, so like you're not gonna watch it anyway, so
I'm probably not. I just wasn't interested in it.
They were based on like when was like the Great Depression, like when the stock market crashed. So yeah. I don't know if that's the 20s, 30s, whatever
30s,
time it
early
is.
30s.
So it's around that time. The main people, brothers, they run a company with their dad. The dad gambles the pension of all the workers, and then the shit happens. Everything drops. They lose all the money for the people and whatever. And one of the sons just kind of snaps. You know what I mean? Like the son that's closest to the dad, but not closest to the business. He's the one who snaps. So in his snapping, he starts talking about these coordinates. And when his friend comes in to like, because everybody's like, they're all worried about him, they call his friend and be like, yo, come check him. Like, you haven't seen him in a while. He's been kind of wilding. Maybe seeing you will help change him, whatever. So he goes to see him. He books the coordinates. So he kind of steals the paper that the man's writing. And then he books it. And he's like, yo, what if this shit is real and he's not just crazy? So then they get back to talking about it, him not being crazy, whatever. And they end up, whatever his dreams or whatever, they end up collecting the people that were in his dreams and all his stuff. And then they go on that mission in the middle of the freaking ocean to some sort of island that's supposed to be there that he doesn't know is there. So they end up going, within all that, he actually finds somebody who actually had the same dreams and all that shit before as he did. And then the guy tells him like the storm, you're going to hit a storm. And like the storm is like, it's real. You know what I mean? It's like, no matter what you try to do, it was like that storm knew what you were going to do and it didn't. So when they start going through that storm, they push through the storm, they reach the island, they get to the island, which is like Lost, because Lost is like this island that they crash land on. They have no clue where it is. It's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows where it is.
They're lost.
Yeah. And then there's like this island is also secret, and it drew them there for a reason. And they go there, and that's the island where they get their superpowers. They all end up touching a wall and showing that they can work together, and then they get superpowers because of it. I'm just like, yo, this is an episode of Lost. Like, if I've seen all this, you know what I mean? And then it's just like the whole thing, like the biggest thing episode, the biggest argument in the show or thing that they want to, they're going after is, should superheroes be allowed to kill? You know what I mean? That's like pretty much what the whole Jupiter's Legacy is. Because after they get their powers, the main guy's like, you know what? We're going to start a team called the Union, and our whole thing is never to be bigger than like humans type thing. So we'll never get into politics. We'll never kill somebody, and we'll never do this. We're going to hold up our 3 beliefs. But as they continue, the villains keep getting more and more stronger and more ruthless. So even though they've been around forever, like the Union's been around forever, so they're well respected. So whatever they say, everybody follows. So now all the newest superheroes, like the 20-year-olds, whatever, the younger ones, once they start, they start dying. They start getting killed. And their whole thing is like, yo, we need to fight back. We need to kill these people back. And the whole thing is like, no, you guys can't do it because of this, because of this. And then like one by one, the kids just keep dying. And it's like, they keep dying with like another member, you know what I mean? Like they're witnessing all this shit.
Okay.
And it's really just that whole argument. Should they kill people or should they not? But in hearing that the show got canceled, not surprised. It wasn't like, I watched the season twice and it wasn't like, man, you know what I mean? It almost felt like I was like dragging myself through it 2 times. Like I was fine going, you know what? Okay, I'm done with this episode. Let me check the next one. You know what I mean?
Immature.
Yeah. So it really wasn't that good to me, but a superhero show is a superhero show. Like I want to go back and watch Meteor Man. Like I don't give a fuck. Golden Lords were dope.
Yo, Meteor Man has one of the like to this day I could crack up. No, sorry, it's not Meteor Man. We gotta watch Meteor Man though. Blank Man.
Blank Man.
Blank Man's got one of the funniest shits. I still to this day I crack up laughing. And homeboy from Fridays in it. Mr. Johnson.
Oh yeah.
It's a scene with him in it. He tries to pick up a chair. Me and my boy died laughing when we saw it. I want to see if it's still funny to this day. I gotta watch Blank Man again.
I mean, that goes back to that old show we were talking about. Vintage. Is it still vintage or some shit like that? Where we watch old shows and see if it
Still
stands up to time. Does it stay that like? Does it still hit? Do the jokes would they be acceptable in this time? You know what I mean? A whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, you know what? I have an idea for what we could brand that segment. We could brand it. I have an idea for it.
I don't even know if that's a segment. I think that's a whole show itself because when you're breaking down shows, that's a whole thing. But yeah, let me get into that. But yeah, outside of that, Jupiter's Legacy wasn't anything. If you haven't watched it, don't feel the way. They've canceled it.
Yeah,
there's nothing more coming anyway. So
I thought it was cool. It just didn't. It didn't keep my.
It just like their powers weren't really explained. So they all can fly, but they all have a different power. You know what I mean? And then one of them disappears, but they never explain why he left, which was his best friend. And it's just I don't know, a lot of unanswered questions. I think they were really feeling like, yeah, we're gonna get a season 2. But sometimes you just gotta answer all the questions in the first season and leave one unanswered question for the second season, you know?
Yeah.
Like The Boys. The Boys gave you all the answers. And then we found out he had a son.
Season 3 needs to hurry up.
That should be soon, actually.
Is it this year?
Let me see.
Because I remember them making some announcement about it.
If they have a release date. I think it does have a release date. Let me see. Okay, it's not been set. Fans are hoping for a start in late 2021, but filming has only recently been in full swing, so a start in spring 2022 seems more likely. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Marvel's holding us down, so.
And it's going to time jump to 2024.
Okay.
Interesting. Ted Cruz, 2024. So yeah. And yeah, Hero-gasm. Hero-gasm's going to happen. People just don't know. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like Freaknik for superheroes. If you don't know Freaknik, go YouTube it. Don't even Google it. YouTube it.
I feel like I got a recent like Freaknik bar at one of the new joints.
New joints? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
290721.
I just threw that lob out there.
My name's Shep.
Thank God you caught it.
My name's Shep.
But outside of everything we covered, is there anything you'd like to speak about before we go?
I think we got everything.
Good. Moderator extraordinaire.
Shout out to Mr. Steven S. Couldn't make it tonight.
Girl, I don't think he likes this show. I think it's too much.
He's probably
mind.
watching Jupiter's Legacy right now.
You know what I mean? Like
asleep.
He's like
asleep. He's like this.
You just put the headphones on and sleep.
Yeah.
As soon as we mentioned something, I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that. Yeah, I do remember hearing that. Why you keep saying hearing that? You didn't see it?
Like 45 seconds ago.
Right?
Yeah, shout out to Slim.
But yeah, so next week, new time. I'm not sure if it's Wednesday or Thursday. We'll figure it out. by Wednesday. So yeah,
just
stay
stay tuned.
tuned. We'll be in. So follow me, yo, this Chezza. Again, I have
At
these
Saynt
shirts
Jaysn.
out there.
Oh,
The 215 residential Kamloops residential school in memorial to the kids' bodies who were found at the Kamloops residential school. So you go to the icebergsociety.com/shop. You can cop it, and then also a portion of the proceeds do go to the Orange Shirt Society. So hopefully by like what I'm gonna try to do is like every Friday, get enough orders. I'm gonna post up another donation. So just donations continuously. Make sure you go there to get the shirt.
I got a question earlier today. Do you ship internationally?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Definitely. And it's even, well, depends how far internationally, but it gets cheaper. Everything is cheaper once you get a national because Canadian money ain't really worth as much as other money. So depending on the country,
Yeah,
you might be getting yourself a deal, but it's definitely deserved because that's crazy, and it's only the beginning. Like once they really start digging, fuck.
This is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's gonna. And you know what? It's about time. There's gonna be a lot of questions that have to be answered.
100%. But
shout out to our Indigenous brothers and sisters. Shout out to our Asian brothers and sisters. The struggle is real.
And yeah, on that note, please take us out, Trace.
Casual Fan Podcast, Shot Club Podcast, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You never know when we're going live again. But Sunday, we will be live, Shot Club.
Shot Club. Bum. Till next time, bless up.